Goliath troop release is happening today for Sophie and Grover with Mrs. Gold. Just going to meet the release team now, the integration team. So here's today's integration team. Got Mark doing some last minute photo shots and filming Luna, Victoria, Diana and Maud, integration intern. Victoria, how many bottles are you making there?
6.
6.
6. So they can have 2 bottles in each feeding cage, and we have 3 around the enclosure. One just next to the intro cage, another one in this side, and the last is near the other intro cage.
Great. And then we've got one person for each feeding cage, and then somebody following
yes,
the bubbies.
Exactly.
Okay, great, thank you.
I'll always put the big bottle just on the table.
So Mrs. Gold, one of our long-time favourites, always very, very good with the youngsters and looking after them. She's got the patience like you can't believe, takes her time and sort of puts up with all the kinds of little mischief these little guys actually give her. She is getting on in years, so I can't see her doing it for too many years, but she still likes it. She loves the little ones, she loves interacting with them, and she's been a great help in getting these little guys out and back out into the main enclosure. She's really a fantastic foster mom and does give it her all. So of course both Sophie and Grover have met their moms, the foster moms, a while ago. I think it was in episode 17, and if you do want to see their arrival, they arrived in episode 13 if you want to just brush yourself up of what they were when they first got here. So they are quite settled with Mrs. Gold and a few of the others coming in and sort of knowing what to do. So it's just the final stages now before we get ready to let them out.
No matter which one. You might need to shut the door fast to get in the way.
So letting the right monkey in is quite important, just so that we don't have any conflict. This is Angelica, fairly low ranked, and she was born on site in 2008.
So Angelica's got the wonky face.
Yeah.
And quite ragged.
It's Angelica with the babies.
The one at the door, the small one, the short tail, that's the one we don't use. The other one from last year, the black one. She's not good.
So if you look carefully, you'll see Angelica's got a kind of a skew jawline, so that's one way of seeing her or distinguishing her from other monkeys. Of course, Mrs. Gold is doing the right thing for the little ones, showing them that Angelica is okay and she's a friend, because you can see they are a little bit scared of her. They're not actually hugging onto her. They're all trying to creep up to Mrs. Gold. So Mrs. Gold's doing a bit of grooming on Angelica, probably hoping she'll get groomed later on. But this is also a way of kind of breaking the ice for the little ones to see that this is a friend. So you can see as a typical example of them finding Angelica a little bit frightening, because they don't know her as well, And then of course it's going to be the reaction of Mrs. Gold, how she behaves, whether they're going to accept her easily or not.
Go out and then see what happens.
Angelica's left.
I let her in. Or?
Classic Mrs. Gold.
I think the problem with opening now is that Grover will get stuck because he won't want to run past everybody. Or maybe he's not scared at all.
Find me.
Look Grover. Monkeys, come on.
So Ellie, you can't see her so well because she's on the other side of the shade netting there. She was one of the 2019 orphans. She was found alone on a game lodge, and they brought her through here. So she does love babies, and she's either around the higher ranking females or wherever she can find little ones. So currently we have 3 people around this enclosure to see what's going on. We've got Mark helping direct on what should be able to do. We've got the person holding the ropes, letting the monkeys in and out. And then of course you've got the person holding the camera and filming at the same time. So it's not always easy to just get one person to do it, because somebody's got to watch the monkeys coming from the outside, who's coming up next. And of course the poor person on the ropes has got to make the decision who to let in and who not to let in. And it's not always a thing, because trying to let these monkeys out, we need a clear gate, so there can't be any monkeys on the other side, because the whole object is to get mom and babies to go out at the same time. And sometimes if there's another monkey there, it disrupts it, especially if it's a male. So we've got to have a clear gateway before we can even take the chance of opening up and letting them out.
If they're both there beside her at the door like that, you could also go ahead.
Okay.
Who's the other one?
They're both there.
Oh, yeah.
Both there, open. And leave it open for the babies.
See how quick it takes for other members of the troop to see that the gate's open and come along and see what's actually going on. Because everybody loves the babies and they want to get their little hands on the small ones and mom and sort of congratulate her. So it's quite a difficult process to actually be able to open this gate when there's nobody around.
Yeah, wide. Yeah, wide
Open wide.
Wide.
Open.
It's not one, it's the other. To be honest, Digit probably won't stay in anyway if you want to just let. Oh, just goes. She never wants to stay in.
Okay, open.
Yeah, go ahead.
Open
Nice
wide.
and wide.
I think Grover says he'll take anyone. Even if one goes out, she'll come back with the other. Even if it's the afternoon.
So the challenge of getting them all three at the same time, and nobody at the gate, and opening it at the correct time, you can just imagine how difficult it can get at some times, and especially if you've been doing this the whole day. So it is very important. Sometimes it seems like people are just being a little bit silly and they can just open it up, but it can disrupt the whole process. As I said, you can get the wrong monkey coming in, picking on the little one. You can also get little babies bitten if you're not careful with what you do. So they do have to be very careful who comes in, who goes out, making sure the rankings of the females are pretty much the same. We do have monkeys that, because they're lower ranking, they might take it out on the babies to put the babies in place, to make sure that they are higher ranking than them. So there's all these kind of things that have to be taken into consideration during your integration process and letting the monkeys in and out. So it's essential that the person on the ropes knows who the monkeys are, or you've got somebody like Mark with you who knows the monkeys, so he can direct and say, yes, that one's safe to come in, that one's not. Because sometimes the monkeys don't get on with each other, and you might not be able to put them in a confined space together. So it's a lot more technical than just opening a little door.
I'll just go ahead and open it. Okay. Or else we'll be there all day. This is not easy.
Yeah, open.
It's alright.
It's alright, she'll come.
So lucky it's Mrs. Gold that she's not going to go anywhere without her charges. So even though she popped out and was ready to go, she knows the little ones are behind and returns to come and get them.
Go ahead.
Go, open it.
Have you just opened? You can let her in.
These are one of Mrs. Gold's previous foster babies.
Grover.
Where's the other one? Are they both?
They're both there.
Oh, yeah,
Both
go
there.
ahead.
Open. Leave it open for babies.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Calling all their friends.
Monkeys, seriously. Go away.
Angelica's left.
I let her in or?
Classic Mrs. Gold.
I think the problem with opening now is that Grover will get stuck because he won't want to run past everybody. Or maybe he's not scared at all.
Probably.
it's Angelica again.
I remember last time she went out and then, not last time, maybe the time before, and then she explored and rotated a bit and then she came back to babies and she felt safe. And guess she's hanging around through that.
I think as soon as they start coming up to the door, they'll open. I wonder if we just let Ellie in. Hey. Yeah, we'll wait a minute just to see if Ellie goes away. Yeah, go ahead.
Open wide.
She does the same every year.
So, believe it or not, this is Vader.
Oh, it's Vader.
This is Vader.
It's
He's
big.
not huge.
I was thinking it was
Ready?
smallest.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, open.
Yeah, wide
Open
open.
wide.
Wide.
Wait.
Open.
He's recording?
Yep.
Babies, pay attention. Come on, babies, go. Okay. Start recording. No, Sophie, that way. Go, babies, go. Okay.
Almost
Oh, yeah.
one.
We got Grover out. Come on, Soph. Take your baby. Grover, go. No, you muppet. Let's go.
I'm sure every mother out there knows that feeling when you go to the supermarket and the darn kids just won't cooperate. While these little monkeys are behaving exactly the same way, they just don't want to cooperate with mom and go out at the same time and then just enjoy the main enclosure. Doesn't matter what we try.
Still trying to get her to come out. Come on, Grover, let's go.
She's grooming someone.
Oh, we're out.
Well, finally they're out there with mom. As you can see, it's not the easiest task under the sun. You can never predict how these things are going to work and how they're going. The little monkeys sometimes decide for themselves, and just like naughty little children, they got their own little minds, and if they don't want to listen, they go their own way, do their own thing, and even mom has to go back one or two times and say, listen, we're supposed to be moving out here, move your little rear ends and let's get going. And yeah, it can be quite a little bit of a frustration for the poor people on the gate. It's been a long day trying to get the little guys out and opening and closing and make sure there's not other monkeys in the way. And when it's totally open, these little guys just don't cooperate. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed them coming out. It's not often we get such a good one of them actually leaving the enclosure and going out with mom.
Bliss and Grover.
So this is Bliss giving Grover the once over. All the females just like to check them out and just to see who's who when they come through. Try to decide whether they are from the troop or not. So it's all very typical behavior. Bliss arrived in 2010. She was actually born to the troop to a monkey called Slinky. Not sure what Grover's doing. He seems to be going to all the females. The one in the back there is Marabella. She arrived in 2015 as an orphan, had very bad pneumonia, so she's also one of these cases that were pulled through. I don't know who the one in front is yet, can't see the face, but seems like little Grover's going
Grover and
through all the
Mrs.
females.
Gold.
If you haven't recognized her yet, that's of course Grover back with foster mom, Mrs. Gold, and of course she's the one that brought him out and is going to be looking after him.
Here we go. Yes. Here we go, Sophie. Sophie wins the first milk award. Here comes Grover, not yet. He'd rather jump around. Okay, she didn't really drink. Was got distracted by something on the net. But they might go back. So it's about 5:30 on day one. As you can see, Sophie is the first time they've been into one of the feeding cages, which is right beside the intro cage here. Grover didn't quite go in, but she only had a little sip. But both eating really well.
So this is Maggie May. She was arrived in 2016. She was also fostered by Mrs. Gold, and she fostered a little one called Elio. She also had a little bit of trouble in the early stages. She had a venereal tumor removed in early 2022, but otherwise you can see she's doing fairly well and also loves getting involved in the upkeep of the little ones.
Sophie and Grover are playing.
Well, of course, it doesn't take long for these two little ones to start enjoying the amazing trees inside this enclosure. There's some really beautiful foliage here. Most monkeys envy. A lot of places to run and jump and climb and just really have fun. And that's what these two little ones are doing at the moment, and exploring the near vicinity. But believe you me, they're not very far from mums. But just look at the good time these little guys are having at the moment.
Grover and Sophie. Grover.
So of course little Grover getting very brave and exploring, and he's gone up to play with the little juveniles, and you know how naughty little juveniles can be, so they're going to take advantage of this whole situation. Just now you're going to see them playing a very famous game called Make Me Fall Out of the Tree, and what they do is they try and make the lowest ranking one, or in when the males are fighting, the alpha male will try and make a lower ranking male fall off the branch as an intimidating tactic. And you can see the little juveniles are now practicing this with little Grover, jumping on there, trying to intimidate him and see if they can make him actually fall off the branch. But so far he's actually doing quite well. They're trying their best, but little Grover's hanging on out there, and we'll see what they do.
Grover is with juveniles at Goliath.
So maybe little Grover regrets meeting the juveniles, but this is giving him a lot of experience. Here again you can see he's been forced to the edge of a branch where he's got no way of going. Either he's got to jump off or fall or face the juveniles. So this is all tactics and a big learning curve for him.
It's the first day that he's in the troop and he's playing with the others.
You can see Mom down the bottom there. She's just coming to have a look that the juveniles aren't going to take too much advantage of little Grover. But he's learning fast, and this is always a good thing.
Mrs. Gold and Sophie. Sophie with Mrs. Gold.
I wondered when little Digit will appear. She really loves little ones. She came in 2014, been found stuck on a fence, so she doesn't like intro cages, but once the babies are out she can't resist them. You'll see the little ones there suckling on Mrs. Gold. There's definitely no milk coming out of there at all. It's just more for comforts.
Pepsi et Sophie. Lottie.
Some of you might remember little Lottie from last year, the little orphan that's mom was killed by a snake, and she was found underneath a caravan. And of course she's just come to see the little newbie, and just look how remarkable she is now, integrated into this enclosure and part of this whole big family. I must admit Mrs. Gold is quite amazing with these little ones, letting everyone get a little bit of time to share them and be with them, which does help the little one in the end of the day. She always knows there's other backups and other monkeys around her if she needs the support. Here we have Piglet, a little orphan from 2014. And as you can see, all of the females just love little babies once they know they're accepted into the troop, and basically they can look after them. So once they're accepted by the foster mom, the whole troop starts accepting them, and of course everybody wants to get to know the new little one.
Grover.
So this is like the second day. This is Dana looking after little Grover, probably filling in a little bit for the mum, looking after it while mum gets a little bit of a break and runs around and does a little bit of foraging. I'm sure she'll be in a second just to come and see how little Grover's doing. But you can see he's quite happy to be with the mum. Can't complain at all, which is great.
This is Dad on the right, alpha female.
Well, this is Dad. Sometimes the naming convention just doesn't go as well as we planned, but this is the alpha female, so she's just popping in to see that everything's going okay with the little one. So Mrs. Gold getting shown some appreciation from the others. She has got Sophie there with her, but she's also getting a nice grooming session. It is one of the ways that some of the females try to get closer, basically to do a little bit of grooming, and then of course they can get closer to the little baby or be in the neighborhood of the little one.
This is Sophie up at Goliath. She's with Aurora.
So Aurora was found being sold on the side of the road. She came in 2020, so also fairly young, and of course we'll put her under the juvenile section and getting to learn the little ones or teaching them ropes, in this case Sophie, on how to jump around and play around in the trees, but of course they also want to hug and hold on, just like any little girl would do with a little baby.
The female that's just joined them in the back is Ima. She's a very high-ranked female.
So Yema was born in 2010 to Sophie, so she's a member of the troop itself, and of course she's got a very, very high ranking, and also loves to get involved with the little ones and just make sure they're behaving themselves.
This is little Grover having a bit of playtime with Dee Dee, one of our adult females. And in the background is Sophie.
So Dee Dee arrived in 2017. She was found alone in some bathroom by a restaurant, so we're not too sure what actually happened there. But she has got a very nice round face with small peaky brow, and always with the alpha group or alpha babies.
So learning important skills. Fighting, of course, it's part of play, but of course it can be useful to defend the troop when he's older. Also fight for his rank. So Dee Dee, one of the younger females, so she's full of energy. And of course he's also doing a bit of foraging here. So another important skill. At the top of Goliath, just found little Grover. He's sitting here with alpha female Dad. We've also got Bliss, and quite a collection here. So main feed's just gone out, so great time to check on the monkeys as they all come out for food. And this is little Sophie up in the tree here in the middle now. And at the bottom with the short tail just below her, Claudette Marie, jumping up now.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the Sophie and Grover integration. As you can see, nothing really works as you planned, and sometimes it can take an extremely long time just for these little ones to get out, and then they think they should have a little bit of fun at the gate. But it was definitely fun watching. It's nice to see how these things go. Unfortunately, we can't show you the whole thing because it's hours and hours of footage. But at least this gives you an idea of what's going on, how long it takes, and how many people are involved in trying to get these little ones integrated with their foster moms. So thank you everybody out there for watching. Thank you guys for contributing, especially those via PayPal, doing it on a monthly basis. It's really helping us get through this very, very tough time. Not too sure why the volunteer numbers are low at the moment, but we know we've got a lot of support out there and a lot of people wanting to help us, which is important, and that's helping us get through at the moment. So thanks for your support. Thanks for watching the adverts and being involved. We really appreciate it. See you next week.